Thank you, Chamber. Am I coming through okay out? Thank you. This is an opportunity for us to meet, for Jay and I to meet, and this is our first time. Jay began the debate during introductions, and that's good. Later, we'll have time for more. Let me, first of all, introduce my wife back here. She never likes me to introduce her. She's bashful, but she's been my wife for 46 years. She recently retired from Mount Vernon City Schools as the elementary librarian coordinator. We raised 2 daughters, and we have 2 grandchildren. I have here for everyone to see the Book of Laws for the city of Mount Vernon. Probably started back in 1805. They've been upgraded. In that book, there are many laws, but there's one entitled 1175.07, Sign Ordinances, Part E. Political signs or posters concerning candidates for elective office, public issues, and similar matters to be decided by public election to be displayed no more than 45 days prior to the election and to be removed no later than 3 days. Now that's kind of a rule. The people of Mount Vernon came to live together in a city, and we decided at the time, maybe back in 1805, that we all wanted to make rules that we were satisfied with, and we as a majority would elect people to make those rules and then enforce them. This has everything to do with who's mayor of the city for the next 4 years. This is a set of laws, legislative group which this man sits on, make the laws. The job he aspires for is to enforce the laws. 1175.07, 45 days is either Friday or Saturday, tomorrow or the next day, depending on how you count. But some people knew that in 2000, in Painesville, Ohio, there was someone that challenged that and said, that's a violation of my right of free speech. You know, the people of Mount Vernon, they go back to the rules. This is the city rules. The newspaper's going to, the reason I'm talking about this, the newspaper's going to do a story on this today. They called me last night and said, do you know that the Painesville, Ohio Supreme Court opinion said you couldn't enforce that? And I said, we really don't. They've got a sign out. We're going to tell them it's not the rules. Every year at this time, the city hall they lose with calls saying, when are the signs allowed to go up? And we will cite to them 1175.07. It's a city rule made by our people who live in this community, not in Painesville, not in Columbus, not anywhere else, in Mount Vernon, Ohio. So no, we're not going to arrest anybody. We're going to remind you that that's a rule that these people put together. And that's a job of the mayor, is to enforce those rules that are stated there. Let me say that all of you, Jay said he's different, but a big reason he's different is that he's only 2 years on council. I've been in my 16th year of mayor. I'm serving that right now. If you're looking for a way to vote against me, it's easy. I've been part of a lot of things. The bridge to nowhere really goes somewhere. 125 acres of park ground. An 1894 structure of special historical significance can be refurbished with 80% money coming from the Ohio Department of Transportation. It's part of a trail system that will be long part of the future of Mount Vernon. I'm not going to go out and say to you that I'm going to bring jobs to Mount Vernon. What I'm telling you is that we're creating a climate that jobs will come to Mount Vernon. The people you talk to from Rolls-Royce, if they came from England, sure, they're going to depend on realtors, they're going to depend on people who are already over here. I remember one of the CEOs they had here, I said to him, why don't you live in Mount Vernon, Ohio? And he said, I like to live in $1 million home. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be here. How do you think I could sell $1 million home in Mount Vernon, Ohio? I have to admit, it'd be pretty difficult. He lived in New Albany. Some people they like the culture. They like the ambiance, the entertainment, shopping. Well, we're growing. We've grown for the last 3 census. And that's important to us. We talk about developing our parks. We talk about a lineal park. It's going to be the 5 mile from Tilden Avenue, clear the length of Mount Vernon. People that come to communities will look at parks. They'll look at the streets. They'll look at water and wastewater availability. They'll look at the schools and the libraries. They'll look at the shade trees and they'll look at the beautification of this city. People that come to Mount Vernon will tell you when asked, what do you think of our city? And they will say, this is a beautiful city. Just the other night down at the art showing for the Link photography exhibition, people from Dallas, Texas said, you have a beautiful city. Now, I've never been to Dallas, so I don't know whether we're more beautiful than Dallas or not, but it is interesting, unsolicited, to have someone say that. The next 4 years are important. As I said earlier, if you didn't like what's been done the last 16 years, you probably won't like the next 4. We're finishing up the crossover road. We're going to widen Coshocton Road. We're going to continue the development of the corridor, 13 corridor through town, and many things that we're doing. All of those will be part of creating the climate, which will bring jobs and build jobs and continue the direction that we're going.